Is either ask me or go back in here, rewatch it, okay? It's in there. That's why I do this. Solve. Angle B is 110. What does little a mean? Good. Little letters are side lengths. Okay, this worksheet's consistent with that too. From a place thousands of miles away from where this textbook was made, but there's some consensus so that when kids are trying to learn this, at least we don't want to completely confuse them, right? So that's all you got. And what does it mean, solve? Everything. Solve means everything in the triangle. Well, there's three things. How many things does a triangle have to solve for? 3 angles and 3 sides, right? So, like, we're half done already. There's only 3 things to get. So, the first thing you want to do, unless you're, like, smarter than me, is draw a picture. Okay? Start with the angle. It doesn't matter where you put it. You can put it up there. You can put it over here. Okay? It's not wrong, but it might not be the same as my picture. Maybe it's because I'm English and I read from left to right. I like to do and start it there. That would be 90. Is this bigger than 90? Yeah, it's like 20 degrees bigger than 90, so it's got to kind of maybe look like that. Okay? Make sense? Like I say, it's not wrong. I'm going to put mine on the top. Okay, fine. All right. So that's angle B. Label it. Big B. Now, where do I put these? Doesn't matter. Could this be A? Sure. Could that be A? Sure. Could this side over here be A? No. Because opposite big B has to be little b. And I'm given that. Okay? But here or here doesn't matter. I don't know. Let's put it down here, I guess. Let me actually be consistent with my notes. Yes, I did. A. That's 22. Okay? So I don't know that angle. I don't know this angle. And I don't know that side. Solve means I want them all. Where do we start? Well, you probably only have one place to start because you haven't been taught cosine law yet. You just know sine law. And there's probably only one thing you can get. Because in sine law, which is, now which way did we write it yesterday? I think we wrote it like this, right? Is that right? Okay, because the reason I'm asking that is because you can write it another way. That's sine law. Yes, there's another ratio. It's also c over sine c. But we're not going to do 3 things at once. Remember, there's 4 variables in here. I have to know 3 of them. Okay? What can I do here? And if it helps, it's always this opposite thing. Okay? I know b. I know sine b. So I'm going to write that. 36 over sine of 110 is, what can I get? Can I get, like, c has got to be there, because opposite little a, that's got to be angle A. Can I do little c or c? No, I don't know either of those. I can't do it. I'm going to have 2 unknowns. Let's just, don't write this down, but, okay, you can never solve for that. I can't do an equation if I have 2 unknowns. But what I do know is, I know a, little a, that's here. So I can find angle A. Okay? I know 3 things in here. I have to, or I can't do it. So that is the Math 11 stuff. Now this is like, well, I mean, it looks ugly, right? You didn't get trig till grade 10, but algebraically, that's just grade 9, maybe even a hard grade 8 question. I want to solve this thing for sine A, okay? So first thing I probably want to do is cross product or cross multiply. Sine A times 36 is 36 times sine A equals 22 times sine 110 Okay, how do I get sine A by itself? How do I get rid of that 36? Divide it away. Whatever you do to one side, do to the other side. So that's the sine of A. Okay, you can make that a number now if you want. But hopefully we get kind of good and we can just go, I know to get A, I take the inverse sine. Okay, second function button on my calculator of all that stuff, and that'll be angle A, which is what I want. I actually did a physics 12 question yesterday. Got it wrong. Kids are like, that's not what I got. You know why? I was in radians. So even I tell you guys all to do it all the time, sometimes I don't. Okay? So, again, you don't have to do it all in one step. And your calculator may not work like this. Okay, maybe you want to do this stuff first, get a number, write it down. Okay? But you should get this answer. Does it look like an angle? Yes, it does. 35 degrees. Okay, I think this sheet says to the nearest tenth, so let's make this to the nearest tenth. 35, that 7 makes this 4 a 5. Okay, that makes that a 1, doesn't it? That's 35.1. Okay, so A is 35.1 degrees. Put it on your picture. Okay. No, because you've showed most of the understanding of what's going on. That would be nitpicky, right? I'm just saying, if you want to get your answers and check them on the sheet, okay? This is what we try to train you to do in, grade 9 and 10, right? Round that properly. But no, if this is a 3-mark question, that's 2.5 marks. If I'm in a good mood, I'll give you all the marks, okay? But the problem is, if you round this too much, how am I going to get this angle? I'm going to subtract that and this from 180 to get that one, right? That's the easiest way. Now this one's going to be off too. Okay, so now if I use this one to get this side, now it's going to be off even more. Okay? All right, something I didn't tell you, but you can do this. And you might have noticed it's in the book. This isn't the only way to write sine law. I can also write it like that. If it's an angle, what you're solving for, maybe you want to write it like that with the angles on top. Okay? Because then it'll save you one step algebraically. You won't have to do it. Sine A is what I'm trying to solve for. So if I did it this way, okay, how would I solve that for sine A? All I would have to do is multiply both sides by 22. Okay? Do I get the same thing? Yes, I do. So you can do that, okay, if you want. If you're solving for a side, you probably want to write it like that. If you're solving for an angle, well, you can do that. It'll just save you one step. Okay, if algebra isn't your thing, you can do that. All right? So now that that's 35.1, what else do I need to get? I need to get this angle, and I said the easiest way was to go, well, I know there's 180 degrees in a triangle. So let's subtract that guy. Let's subtract that guy. And looks like that C is 34.9. Let's put it here. Only one other thing to get. Side C. So if I'm solving for a side, I want to write it like that. Okay? Now let me just erase this stuff so I can see my picture here and don't have to scroll down. Alright, so this is what I want. I want that, so I'm going to write that. What ratio am I going to use? Do I want to use this? Or do I want to use the B stuff? Well, it doesn't matter if you're absolutely positive you got this one right. That's why I would say always, always use what you're given in the question, if you can, because you know that's right. If I made a mistake and got this wrong, then this is going to be wrong. And if it's a 3-mark question and you get a mark for each thing you got right, well, if that's wrong, now this is going to be wrong. Make sense? So use what you're given in the question. I want to do b over sine b. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to find. Now I know this, and yeah, I know I had to get that anyway. Whoops, sine. But if you can, use the numbers you're given. b, 36, okay, over sine of 110. I'm writing kind of more quickly so it's not as readable. How do I solve that thing for c? How do I get rid of sine 34.9? Times it, because it's divided by. Do the opposite. Whatever you do to one side, do to the other side. So c is that times that divided by that. 36 times sine 34.9. Make sure you close the bracket, Sarah. Divided by sine of 110. Okay, does it look reasonable? That's 22. Okay, sure. That's about almost the same length, isn't it? Okay, 21.9 is C. Everything solved. Got that, and got angle C wherever it was. I think I erased it. Okay? So worksheet, I wrote the numbers on there I want you to do. So I can just hand it. Hey, just one more day after this.